It was supposed to be the Knicks who looked rusty in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, coming off a long layoff. But the Spurs were the ones who struggled all night to get a cohesive and organized attack on offense. The grizzled veterans on the Knicks knew not to be concerned.
Our offense will always catch up. It did in Game 1 in Cleveland. We'll be fine.
And it was their competitiveness and grit that would keep it close until their savior, their hero, their Brunson, could silence the crowd in another example in a long list of clutch performances that got the Knicks a step closer to an NBA title. Spurs coaching staff might not be too concerned about the result in Game 1 since I counted no less than 20 open three-point shots that they missed. Over the course of the playoffs, they're shooting 29.5% on open threes, which means they would have hit at least 6 of these shots. Let's look at this possession where they start with a flare screen for Wemby. Cat is blindsided, which forces Hart to switch into a mismatch. The Spurs reverse it to take advantage in the post, and Wemby feels it out to see where the help is coming from. While I don't think Johnson needed to cut into the lane here, but as soon as Bridges digs down, there's no one to rotate to a wide open Castle. The problem is the pass needed to be better. Instead, he's got to grab a short hop bounce pass that was off target, and the open shot clangs off the back rim. Towards the end of the first half, we see a step-up screen that erases Shamet. However, Robinson drops to contain, and if we see where Cornette was here, there was no need for Clarkson to be on the midline. Easy read for Fox, open corner three for Bryan, and it rims out. In the third, we see Cat getting into an interesting position in order to get a body on Wemby. And as Fox rejects the screen to get into the paint, McBride properly rotates over as the low man from the weak side, which means Brunson is slow on the X out to the corner, and for some reason, Harper can't get within 10 feet of making the wide open shot. What you need to pay attention to in the series is how the Spurs will attack both Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns in the half court. Synergy had 42 possessions with both of these two on defense, and the Knicks holding the offense to a stingy 738 points per possession. Fox clearly has something in mind as he directs traffic to make sure Wemby's at the high post and Castle is on the weak side wing. He gets the whole left side of the floor to work with while Brunson's man sets the ball screen. Brunson foolishly tries to hedge and is instantly blown by, forcing Shamet to step over. Great skip pass to Champagnie, and he's not going to miss too many open corner shots. The Spurs then came up with this wedge double ball screen attack to get both Brunson and Towns involved and let Castle decide who to go after. By choosing Wemby and Cat's side, it allows for a roll to the basket, which lures OG all the way to the midline to bump him. Brunson again is supposed to X out to the corner. Even if he was on time to start the closeout, I doubt he gets there in time anyway, but Fox was off all night. The Spurs continued to use this set to attack both Cat and Brunson, and this one was defended a little bit better as Brunson does a good job to put a body on the Wemby roll, while Towns can contain until Bridges hustles back. But he's facing the wrong way, and Castle gets an open 14-footer that he bricks. Here it is again in the third, same direction to attack Towns, and you can see how Cat is worried about the lob and disengages from his contain. Hart can't get all the way in position in time, and Castle muscles in the layup. This time they don't involve Brunson on the left side, but attack Cat once more to the right. Since it's Cornette, the Knicks just switch this and let Hart stick with Luke rolling to the basket. This is all contained by the Knicks defense until Bridges comes too far off of Harper to help one pass away. Harper then proceeds to take one of the best defenders in the NBA to the rack with a weight room move through his chest for a layup. So I think it's pretty clear that involving either Towns or Brunson or both in the pick and roll can yield good advantages for the Spurs offense. What went wrong down the stretch was that they seemed to forget this. No ball screen on this possession, but they do find a slight advantage with the attack on the catch. But Towns played better than expected defense, and the refs let them be more physical, and I imagine this is how fans would love for the game to be called all the time, as Wemby can't finish through the contact, no whistle even if Towns isn't in legal guarding position. Credit to Wemby for not giving up and keeping the possession alive. Here we see a proper X out from Shamet, and although he does have a clear view of the rim as he's lifting his arms, there's speed and an arm up early enough to disrupt the shot into a wild miss, but Champagnie takes advantage and gets free throws. On the next half-court possession, they allow Brunson to hang out on the weak side corner and not be forced into the blender, and Wemby clears out the entire left side to isolate on Cat. Smart move, as Towns again makes contact but also grabs the wrist of Wemby on the shot as he's laying it in for a crucial and one. Instead of sticking to the game plan and getting into a pick and roll to attack Cat and Brunson, Wemby decides to just go at Cat, which isn't a bad idea. But quick pulling into a runner at the free throw line is way too risky. If Cat gets his hands out of there and the whistle doesn't blow, he's stuck with a tough shot. That said, we do see an old vet trick from Cat, who uses his right arm to pull Wemby towards him and disrupt his balance before slightly grabbing the jersey to pull in the other direction before releasing. Tough for the refs to catch this, and as the ball's corralled by Champagnie, of course it's Josh Hart who comes up with the 30-70 ball for one of his 15 rebounds. Still down one, they get back to it, screening Brunson's man with Cat's man, and it works pretty well. Fox gets 2 feet in the paint, and the Knicks' defensive philosophy all night long was to help one pass away on drives like this. But doing so leads to easy sprays for open threes, and this one, Vassell would like to have back, as it's another open miss. And I consider this open because at the moment he's swinging his arms up into the shot, he's got a clear view of the rim with over 5 feet of space between him and a defender. But Champagnie makes lemonade out of lemons. Despite the off-target lob pass, Wemby gets free throws. But here's where having Brunson is an advantage over almost any other team in the NBA. Despite missing 4 shots previously and losing their lead, Brunson doesn't quit, turning the corner and luring Wemby to him so the ball can sing around the perimeter for the open 3. It was the Knicks' turn to miss it, but there's Brunson to get a fingertip on the ball, and in the scramble, of course he backs up wide open in the corner, and of course he just laces the 3 ball to retake the lead and signal the beginning of the end. Rather than continue hammering the advantages they have with the Knicks defenders, they opt for a high post entry and then hand off to Fox, going to his strong left into the middle of the floor. This is a shot I'm sure Mitch Johnson would take any day and twice on Sundays, and Fox just continued to be miserable from the field, breaking it off the back rim, and of course there's Josh Hart to vacuum in the miss. And it must have been fatigue that caused them to lose track of the game plan. Attacking Cat one-on-one isn't the advantage they think it is compared to 2-man action with Brunson involved. And Wemby just kicks his crossover. And of course, Josh Hart is there to pounce, which sets up the most important shot Jalen Brunson has taken in his Knicks career so far. Now, Wemby might not be polished enough and ready for the superstar ISO with the game in the balance, but Brunson most certainly is, and everyone in the building knew he was creating the shot. After properly winding the clock down, he hits Vassell with some perfect footwork, gathers with the left foot down, lifts both feet and lands with one sound on a jump stop. From there, either foot can be the pivot. By lifting the right foot, he establishes the left foot as the pivot. He can step as many times as he likes with that right foot. The left foot doesn't budge an inch as he steps onto the right, legally lifting the pivot foot in order to jump and shoot before that left foot comes back down. Now, Vassell had a lot to say about this since he played nearly perfect defense, within inches of blocking it. And for what it's worth, the last 2-minute report said that he should have been called for a foul, but Brunson was simply better, splashing this with an absolutely perfect swish and ending the game in its tracks. Now the Knicks have home court advantage. All the pressure is on the Spurs to win Game 2, or else the series is over, perhaps in a sweep. And if you want to keep betting against a diminutive guard with a huge heart and even bigger game, you're probably going to lose your money.